All right, well, we can get started. So we've got, I guess our guests are here with Rajiv and Keith. But we have Jeremy Zimmerman is a guest, a real guest. Not that you guys aren't real guests, but independent, independent guests. So welcome all of you. This is the Trusted Referral Network. We usually get between 10 and 20 people. I would say we have a membership. As of yesterday, we had a membership of 185 people. Today, we have a membership of about 20 because everybody. We got to get people to actually re-up. So the trial, when I brought the new platform on board about 3 months ago, everybody went on a 3-month trial, and in order to now it's a paid membership, $360 a year. So those who are members, please renew. It is an annual, not a monthly, because I do the 3-month trial to give you the opportunity to figure out if it's for you or not. Always looking to add more value where I can, so suggestions are very welcome. But Robert, you have a suggestion?
Put a YouTube field in the profile.
A YouTube
video.
Yeah,
right.
A YouTube field in what profile?
In the company profile.
It should be a field.
There's Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook,
Oh,
Instagram.
I see. We need a YouTube field in your. I see.
Yeah.
And now
YouTube
threads too.
And YouTube field, social field. Okay.
Yeah, like threads.
Now that I'm a paying customer, I feel like you can demand that.
I absolutely. Well, you'll have to remind me after I see the payment come through.
It's there. Should be there.
It's there. It did there. Oh, nice.
I got my wallet right here. I made sure I did that before.
Wow.
Oh.
All right. Well, that's great.
Now we have 21 people.
You are, well, you are the second paying customer besides myself. So I appreciate it. Yeah. I would say you're the first customer. But need to add YouTube, social. I'm up for that. I can do that. To the profile or the company listing. Okay, absolutely. So Jeremy, the way this works is we usually have a presentation, a showcase presentation, as we will today. What's unusual about today is we have a joint presentation. Rajiv and Keith are going to do a presentation on a case study, Blue Ocean. I know nothing about it. The only ground rules are that it be rated no more than R.
Well, this is a made in TRN case study.
Oh, really? Good.
Yeah, rated R for radical.
Rated R for radical. So I'm going to put the timer on for 15 minutes. We're going to be a little more loosey-goosey today. How would you guys like to take questions? In real time, in chat, toward the end? How would you like to do it?
That's a good question. I would say like people can put their questions in the chat, and if we can answer it in real time, we will. If not, we'll take it at the end.
Okay.
What are your thoughts, Keith?
Yeah, it works for me.
Okay, sweet.
Got the chat up.
Okay, so can we get started, Michael?
Absolutely.
Okay, sweet. Yeah, so can
timer
everyone
on.
see my screen?
Yes, we can see your screen.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, so basically, so this is something that where Keith and I are tag teaming this, and of course, we're going to be like, sometimes we may speak over each other, but hey, we're just so excited to share this amazing experience that, we're just bursting with excitement. Okay, so without further ado, this is the Blue Ocean case study, where Blue Ocean means Publisher Demo. Publisher Demo is a property that has been created by Keith. He actually has a book behind it, Amazon bestseller. I encourage everyone to check it out. And of course, Keith is going to speak more about it momentarily. So without further ado, some quick introductions. Who's who in the room? That's me. prior to me losing weight, that is. This was in 2017, me winning the Minority Business of the Year award in the company of Con Edison and MTA. I won it for innovation in bringing innovation to minority business. And this was awarded to me by the National Minority Business Council. That's me at the United Nations. So some of you may or may not know this, but I'm a United Nations speaker and advisor. I advise governments on policy as well as how to improve their engagement with the community and the audiences that they serve. This is me in talks with the government of Malawi. After my speech at the United Nations Scene Here, I gave a speech at the UN on solving homelessness at the World Homelessness Summit, after which the government of Malawi asked for my help to solve homelessness in Malawi. So that's with me meeting with the delegates from the government of Malawi. Then now this is Keith. Keith, hand over to you.
I'm Keith Reynolds, and we have Sarah on the phone today. And Zoe Bryant was an intern that we had working with us on the project. And over the project, she cycled out, and Nick joined us, who's with us today. In 2010, I'd been studying inbound marketing through HubSpot and their newsletter and their blog. And when we, at a company I was working with, we sort of hit a financial wall after the debacle of 2008. And all we had really was social media to do marketing with, and email. And I started a blog, and within a year I was asked to testify to Congress, and that led to a meeting in Washington, D.C., which led to a meeting out at Sandia National Laboratory, and our solution was acquired to be evaluated by Sandia National Laboratory. And that experience has gotten me into content marketing and inbound marketing, and that's what I wrote my book about. I've also worked with Kodak and Vodafone and some big companies. And then when the pandemic hit, I lost my job, and I had just written a book, and I've been out preaching the gospel about how to connect your media to your ROI. And that's really what the new content culture is about. So thanks.
Sarah, do you want to contribute briefly a little bit about yourself, since you're on the call and you're on the deck?
Sure. So, yeah, I have a background that encompasses marketing, research and analytics, and project management. I connected with Keith in about 1.5 years ago, and I've been working with Publio both on the client-facing side, as well as setting up some of our internal systems and marketing campaigns. And through working with Publio, I also got involved with the Blue Ocean project that we're working on now.
Awesome. Thank you, Sarah. Nick, do you want to add to that a brief, super brief intro of who you are, what you do, real fast?
All right. So my name is Nick. I've been working with Rajiv for the past couple months now. I've been working on with CashMap in this regard, in regards to project management and content creation, and so I've been helping with helping to keep projects on track, and help out in regards to creating original content to help the website get further noticed and help with audience interaction.
Awesome. Thank you, Nick. Okay, so thank you, team. Thank you for your comments. Great to have you all here. So this is a case study of a client that Keith and I partnered on. The original ask of that client was, "Hey, I have an app, but nobody knows what the heck it is, and help." So that's basically what the client said. I'm creating more dramatization for interest, but that's essentially what he said. He basically wanted customers to download the app, but nobody understood what the heck it was, and they basically needed help with messaging. That was the original ask. Now, the plan that we initially gave to them was, and the plan was originally geared towards getting people to download the app, because that was the initial ask that the client came to us with. So we developed a blue ocean disruptive idea, which was essentially geared at getting people to download the app, and of course, supporting messaging to get the message across, which would then be tested with Facebook. And when we started our blue ocean thinking, we had several epiphanies. These are a few of them, which were basically creating hot buttons based on audience research. And the hot buttons that we outlined were these: get out of debt fast, pay less interest, financial freedom. So essentially, this is an app called CashMap, and CashMap is essentially a financial solutions tool that delivers outcomes, which are these. It helps you get out of debt, pay less interest, boost your FICO score, et cetera, et cetera. Like many other awesome outcomes like that are things that the app helps to realize. Now, as far as the campaign objective went, we initially went with let's boost your FICO score because that's a concept that everyone understands. At the time, I think Experian and Equifax was doing a lot of advertising on YouTube, talking about boost the credit score, and they had what's the name of that guy that the wrestler bursting through walls with a cow. So there was like a lot of good brand awareness around boosting your FICO score. Yes, John Cena. Thank you for that. Thank you, Nick. So yeah, so John Cena was creating a lot of awareness around that. So we decided to latch on to the boost the FICO score idea. And then we felt that boosting the FICO score idea was a mass appeal idea, which could then engage people to then download the app and then of course, sign on to a webinar to learn more about what CashMap does. So that was the original idea that we froze on. This was the initial messaging that was created to support the original idea, wherein the original idea was to get people to download the app, and that was the original ask that the client came to us with originally. Then we decided on a different route. We had a new campaign objective, and that was after a series of further epiphanies. And that was to essentially get people to a webinar. And the webinar then became the primary campaign objective, because that was more financially lucrative for the client. And that allowed for us to narrow our focus and really target the audiences a lot better.
One thing I'd add to this is that what the epiphany came because as we attended some of the sales calls with the client, and we realized that he was trying to explain how it works and not the outcomes. And so nobody really, he was having a real hard time people to get them to download the app, but he did have people attend a webinar, and many of the people who attended, he was selling consulting services and additional support for the app. And the other thing that really struck us was how many people loved him, like literally saw that his algorithm and his app did get them out of debt and did have so many amazing benefits. And it is an idea worthy of being a blue ocean idea, really being disruptive.
Yeah, thank you, Keith. And these were some of the messaging that was created that are underway. This is going to be released to Facebook momentarily, but this is the current version of the advertisement as a testimonial route, where it's real people talking about their experiences that support our messaging strategy of either getting out of debt, paying less interest, or financial empowerment. We had a second epiphany in our process, and that was we figured that it made more sense to target decision makers that actually could say yes to a great idea when they saw it. And then we identified certain CEOs of financial firms that liked the idea and were more future facing and pragmatic. And we started out with two of them. Incidentally, as it so turned out, one of them was introduced by me and the second was introduced by Keith. So you can see a real partnership. And that's something that's also underway as far as like developing more lucrative channels for the business. So this is both a B2B as well as a B2B2B play as well. And basically, when it came to us working together and serving the client, we went above and beyond. So the original scope of the project was to create a disruptive idea, which we did. But then we went way beyond the scope. And by beyond the scope, what do I mean? We helped him refine the in-app messaging, uh, uh, redefine the in-app experience, influence the UI UX of the app, change the messaging in the App Store as well on Apple as well as Google Play, as well as obviously identify the lucrative sales channel that we just mentioned in the earlier slide. So the client is really happy with us at the moment. Keith, do you want to talk to this?
Sure. One of the things that we did notice and what led to changing the messaging of getting people to attend a webinar instead of download the app, some of the in-app messaging, the messaging on the store, was to really align content along where the customer was. He was basically getting everybody to 100% understand how the financial algorithm worked because he's a finance guy. And yet that's like way at the bottom after you've purchased it. How do we get people to be customers? So we're working with him to realign the way he presents his information so that it's a crawl, walk, run kind of a relationship and not everything up front.
Want to let you know it's got 3 minutes left.
Yep. And yeah, so basically there are like two sets of audiences. Like I said, you have the financial professionals as well as you have like business owners. And each of these people have like a slightly different vantage point. The advantage to the CEO of the finance company is the app can help you boost your liquidity like crazy by 300%. And the benefit to the business owner is that the app can help you get out of debt 3 times faster than anything out there, to the extent of somebody can pay off their 30-year mortgage in 7 years, as fast as that, and without changing their lifestyle, without changing their expenses or anything like that.
Can I just weigh in real quick?
Yeah.
So if you think of it, if you've ever seen a mortgage where you pay twice a month instead of once a month, and how that can shorten your payback period and save you on interest, get you out of debt faster. Basically, he's figured out an algorithm to help consumers do that across all of their debt. So their student loans, their credit card debt, their mortgages, and because it's an algorithm and it's kind of complicated, his app helps you keep track of it and build a budget and plan scenarios. That's why it's called Cash Map. But essentially, it's helping you use the time value of money to make extra payments and rearrange your payment schedule to lower your average daily balance. And if you're a financial geek, you know what that means. And if you're a business owner and you follow the steps and your financial professional helps you do that, you can actually really improve your life. And we've done some research on the amount of debt that small businesses are in, and we really think that we can help a lot of people. Same with all these student loans coming up for payment again in October.
Yep. Any questions?
So you answered my question, which was, how does the client make money from the app?
Right.
It's got paid features, but it's really more of a, I guess, a pink spoon to try to get people to buy consulting services.
Yeah. So basically, there's like multiple monetization opportunities. Opportunity number one is the subscription. So it's like a freemium model for the app. But then beyond the app, the client is helping customers through private coaching as well as group coaching. And this is something that the webinar explains further, because the webinar includes a panel of customers like them that explain how they've benefited and how their lives have now been transformed. It even saves or enhances marriages and relationships, because finance is often the biggest stressor when it comes to most relationships. And this is something that helps, erase that. Yeah,
Russ
go
has
ahead.
a question.
So I'm trying to understand, who's your target audience? Like, who are you trying to get to buy the app or buy the program?
Yeah, so there are basically two main target groups. Target group number one is CEOs of financial firms, and the second target group is business owners with debt.
It's a pass through. It's B to B to C. So we're using the advertising to reach small business owners, which have a higher probability of being in debt. And we're also reaching out to the financial professionals to offer this as a white label or a co-branded seminar that they can offer their audience. And he's now having some luck. So we started out doing customer interviews with financial professionals, and the only ones that were responding were the ones that actually owned the company, that had a decision-making role, and they could say, yes, I would want to put on a seminar and I can get 100 people to come, and I want to teach people how to get out of debt. That helps me as a financial professional when my clients improve their lot. So that is initially he was only focused on the end users, but we realized he's going to go broke trying to advertise his way to that. So really building a referral network and a seminar series that the financial professionals can do is a viable way. So we tested that, and we've had several of these professionals start to put on the seminars for us. And now we're leveraging that. It doesn't cost money. It just is the time to outreach and get them to understand. And because they're financial professionals, the financial algorithm part is, a relatively quick conversation. And so that was really how we made a big impact for this client, was helping him see that he could reach out through a channel to get end user customers. And that's how we've structured it and are now running tests.
So, I mean, the financial advisor makes perfect sense to me. I can actually see how that works. I can see how an accountant might be able to use it as well for their customers. I guess maybe it's just me. I'm finding a hard time understanding how an individual, like a business owner who might be in debt, is trying to work through this, because based on your presentation, the real money, the real gem is going into the webinar part, not necessarily the app by itself.
Correct.
So
now you get a 30-day license to the app when you attend the webinar, right? So it's a free webinar. You get 30 days free on the app. You'll get access to a library of material that right now he just gives away to everybody. We pulled it behind the firewall so that you have to have attended an event to get access to the information. And you can download the app and literally go through all his videos and teach yourself, or you can attend an event. And he's using, webinar technology. We see as the volume grows, we can automate that. Right now, he does webinars twice a month, and then those who attend, some percentage of them become a paying client. That's been his model.
So the app is the giveaway, and the one-on-one service is the moneymaker.
Correct.
Okay.
Right. Although the app apparently does cost something, just nominal.
Yeah. I mean, the app, you can buy a one-time purchase for a lifetime license or do a monthly subscription. And that's something that may go, like the one-time purchase for a lifetime subscription is something that may be unpaired, but the main, Russell, you're absolutely right. The main driver for revenue is the private or group coaching.
Okay, and then the app has recurring revenue for the financial advisor as well, like the people that purchase the app?
That's what it's offering, is a revenue share with the financial advisor, if they want it. We've talked to some who don't want to have a financial connection. They're just presenting information.
Okay.
Yeah, because, like one of the biggest like roadblocks to most financial companies is they run into a customer. The customer says, I don't have any money. And then this is a solution or a rebuttal to the I don't have any money. Well, with this, you will. And now you'll have a whole bunch of money fast. And more importantly, your situation is going to change dramatically. And what's more, with this new liquidity that you now have, you need somebody to help you manage that, right? Well, that's where I come in. So that's basically the conversation that the financial advisor can now have with the customer, which he previously could not have because this technology was not available.
See, there's a good opportunity. I'm sorry, I keep cutting Michael off. I think he wants to talk. But the other
Jeremy has a question. We'll make
Jeremy,
it the last question.
Well, yeah, it's very interesting. Is mobile apps are a huge ocean, and there's a lot of financial management apps out there. And so you found this channel to the market through the advisors, and they get you access to all of the end users. It sounds like you already had a library of happy customers that the client was able to provide, and you were able to validate the message. But what was that elevator speech? What was the message that you used at the beginning of that conversation with the financial advisor to get them interested?
We've been working on that, and it's evolved. The analogy that seems to work best in my experience in testing this and doing customer interviews and discovery sessions has been, it's similar to the mortgage that you pay twice a month to reduce the time that it takes to pay off your mortgage. This is that principle applied across all of your debt. And I've been on calls where financial professionals can't even believe it. Like how do they not know this? And the amount of debt that we have in our society and consumer debt in particular is a problem. And what has been wonderful about Dennis is he literally came out of this. It was funded out of his church. It's, very, very grassroots. He wants to help people. He's got a genuineness about him. His challenge is that he's just, a small drop of salt in an ocean of apps. And how do we differentiate that? But he first had to get sort of the way he presents it reorganized. And so we're still working on that. But that shorthand of having a metaphor or an analogy really seemed to work.
Right. Thank you so much. I think we'll move on to the next section of our meeting, which is round robin of introductions. Since it's a small group.
Michael, before you do that, just one small plug for you. So this is just a small testament to TRN that all the relationships that are being developed at TRN are genuine, deep, and authentic, because it was because of TRN that this happened. I met Keith right here at TRN, had several conversations, got to know him a little bit better, and then explored a partnership alliance, with Publio and Keith. So all of that happened because of TRN. The Trusted Referral Network works, and you should definitely sign up. I'm going to sign up immediately after this.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for that plug. And yes, I mean, networking in general works. Rajiv said that the client came from his own networking group, a referral from the Dynamite networking group. So yes, it definitely does work. You meet lots of good people. So order of intros, I'm putting it into the chat right now as we speak. So Russ, Henning, Jeremy, Stash, Robert, and then we should have time for Rajiv and Keith. You did a presentation, but definitely pitch your own services. And then Nicholas and Sarah, I know you introduced yourselves, but if we have time in the end, would love to hear more about you guys. So we can make it, let's make it about 2 minutes and 30 seconds. Tell us what you do, what makes you unique, how you can help others, what you're looking for. If there's any little anecdotes, stories that you could tell that make you stand out, that's always helpful. And I'm going to move it into speaker mode. So if everybody else would go on mute if you're not speaking, that
Michael,
way yes.
Just one thing, sorry to keep interrupting, but in the chat, you just said order of intros, but the names actually aren't there.
No, did I not hit return? Sorry.
There you go.
Yeah, there we go.
Now it's there. Now it's there. Thank you. Thank you, Mike.
Much appreciated. Yeah, I'm working off of 2 screens and my notes and everything. Okay, Russ, take it away.
Sure. So Russ Bruzzano, RGP Design. I'm a graphic designer, website designer, webmaster, problem solver. I've been doing for over 25 years. Started off writing HTML and CS and tables back in the day, and went and got a graphic design degree and worked for agencies, some as much as 100 employees strong. And in like 2004, I went out on my own, and I've been doing it ever since. So if you need anything graphic design, if you can print on it, I can design for it, or on the web, I can absolutely do that. My best web clients are usually startups or small businesses, as well as small businesses and startups that already have website developed and they like it, but for one reason or another, their web guy fell off the earth, or web gal, and now they're stuck with a website and they don't know how to update it, how to change it. I'm able to step in on just about any platform, because like I said, I've been doing it for so long, and can just pick up the slack, take it over, and be their webmaster. Yeah, so that's me, RGB Design, Russ Bruzzano. Thank you.
Russ is also a musician, an artist, a vegan, and he walks 6 miles twice a week. Is that right?
I did 8 on Sunday, not planned.
Very good for you. All right. So he's really 106 years old, and he looks the way he does. but
Wow.
He's a vegan.
I don't look that old. I don't look 106. Well, thank you for that.
Yeah.
Because you never actually see me stand up. That might tell it all.
Maybe. Henning, you're up.
Thank you, Michael. I am Henning Schwinum, and I spent about 25 years of my prior career in sales, leading sales teams in different companies, different types of products, different geographies. And about 4 years ago, I was done with that. I felt like I wasn't learning anything new. It was the same old stuff coming at me every time. And I decided to do something very different, and but stay within the sales realm. So today I'm a matchmaker. I help executives who are in the fractional executive realm find sales leadership roles. And on the other end of our matchmaking, I help business owners, CEOs, founders, typically of smaller businesses between 0 and 15 million in AR, to find the right sales leader. And what makes us unique in this space is the fact that I do this not as a recruiter. I've not spent a day in my life recruiting, but I come from a background of subject matter expertise. When I talk to an executive, somebody who's been in sales like myself for 20 or 30 years, I can relate to what they say, but I can also question what they talk about, and pull out the BS or filter out the BS and get to the reality. And when I talk to a client about what it might take for them to be successful on the sales side, I can also relate to it based on my own experience. With that, we also built software to help us in the matching process, develop the system around it. And we can do this, we can help clients with a great deal of flexibility, because sometimes those fractional roles are turning into full-time employment roles, and we can facilitate that as well. And so we do assignments anywhere from an hour a week of advisory to full-time interim 1099 or full-time employment W-2 roles, but all with focus on sales leadership. So directors, VPs, SVPs of sales, CROs, and CSOs. Thank you.
Thank you. And now I know that your last name is Schwinum, not Schwinum. All right. I will try to remember that. Jeremy, our guest today.
All right. Well, thank you for having me. My name is Jeremy, and I am a solo act. I run under the banner of Brand Purpose. And my tagline is, we make business personal by connecting brands to purpose. And the idea emanates from 30 years in the practice of marketing, 10 years in a couple agencies, 20 years on the client side in higher ed and in healthcare. And during that time, in helping companies find their point of difference and connecting it to something more durable than any tangible feature that can be quickly obsoleted or copied by competitors, and something that engages not only customers, but employees, because in service-based companies, customer loyalty comes from delight. And I saw that in Rajiv in that slide, that ultimately we want to create as delighted customers who refer others to us. And delighted customers come from delighted employees. And one of the major factors that goes into employee delight is the sense that they're involved in something meaningful, that they have a purpose and they make a meaningful contribution to it. So I'm primarily focused on service-based businesses, anywhere from 50 to 1,000 employees. I don't do a lot of startups. I've done a little bit of that. I've done enough of it to know that's not really my wheelhouse. And I say service businesses because that is where the employee and that point of contact with the customer is what expresses the brand. So thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Thank you. Okay. And everybody should put their information in the chat, whether it be a LinkedIn URL, email, whatever, so that people can follow up. I'll encourage folks to download that chat at the end. All right, Stash Harrison.
Hey guys, good afternoon. My name is Stash Harrison, future croissant master. No, I'm the CEO of Market Intent. We're based here in New York City. We develop a lot of AI tech and tools, focusing on the ad agencies. However, recently, one of the tools as a startup, we built a fully autonomous AI sales agent to help us sell and bring in customers. And that sales agent, as of now, we have potentially 7 people interested in buying it. So the company is taking a different direction, I think, which is awesome. But, anyway, that's about it. Some of the cool stuff we have, let's see, I have a minute and a half left. We recently built something called Chat with Agencies, allowing you to chat with pretty much every ad agencies in America, asking them, essentially you can ask the AI if this is a good agent for you or any question from use cases, so on and so forth. And we have a lot of other AI offering, but I'll add my info if anyone want to hear more. That's about it for me. Henning, I like your name. One of my best friend is German, and he's from Munich. So I don't know where in Germany you're from.
I'm from the best city in Germany, which is Cologne on the Rhine River.
I know Cologne, but I thought you were going to say from Düsseldorf because that's where Heidi Klum is from. So if they have a factory that makes the Heidi Klums there, I think that would be the best city, no?
Cologne and Düsseldorf are only 20 miles apart, but it's a world
I know.
of difference.
A good friend of mine is from there. They are actually fairly famous directors in Germany. They're indie film. Mark Bauda and Dörte Franke. They won a Lola
Dörte
Award.
Franke, yes.
Yeah, they won a Lola Award for their film.
Yes.
Nice.
So anyway,
right.
that's my time. By the way, Sarah is not mentioned in the list, Michael.
Oh, sorry about that, Sarah. I'll add you. All right. And Nicholas probably not as well. Okay. Let's go. Robert Weiss.
Okay, everybody, you know what I'm going to do? Well, some people do. Video, 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 video. And today, with my time, I'm going to show a video. Part of my practice is in manufacturing. The other practice is in professional services. And I've kind of made an intention between now and August, from the start of August, and then the year that I'm going to be focused on the professional services, law firms, and accounting firms. So I wanted to inform and educate. If you know any lawyers or you have friends that are lawyers, then maybe you want to say, hey, talk to Robert. And here's the reason why. So I'm going to share a screen and we're going to play this. And just give me a thumbs up if you can hear it.
Legal marketing teams and accounting marketing teams should really be pushing their partners to get in front of the camera. Because at the end of the day, it is the partners who are actually driving the business opportunities of their firms. It's their skill set, it's their personality, their bedside manner, and everything that they've done in order to build that trust and credibility with clients to get new casework. So what other marketing medium is going to allow you to get those partners out in front of people on a very wide basis? What video allows you to do is have digital assets that you can use in multiple channels on your website, in blogs, on bio pages, emails, social, and those videos last potentially for 3, 4, or 5 years. What other marketing investment can you make that will last that long and allows potential clients to get to know your partners before they pick up the phone? Or maybe it's even during a sales process when you're courting those prospects and they're getting closer to signing with you. Chances are they're going back to your website to check your firm out and to check those partners out. So that's why.
So that's all my time. I stop sharing and put this into the chat in case you wanted to forward that to somebody that you love.
You have, can you also include, I'd like to see some examples of that work for lawyers. Because I think if I were to forward, some really good videos of lawyers promoting themselves to some people that I know, they might be interested.
Okay. I mean, I could put that there as well. The only note that I would say is, what makes sense for one firm is not necessarily what makes sense for another firm.
Right.
So, it's not like a full, we like to have a conversation first. But anyway.
All right. Yeah. Let's talk later.
Yeah, that's our law firm video portfolio. So,
okay.
Anyway, cool. Video. I'm Robert.
Rajiv, take it away.
Yeah, thank you for that, Michael. By the way, I just upgraded to featured member, so I very proudly renamed myself to reflect that. Okay, as far as what do I do, as you can tell by my Zoom background, it says Assassins for Hire, because we take out anything that needs taking out. You know what I mean? All those nasty, scandalous things that people say about you that are completely false. Because if you don't do anything about it, people are actually going to believe that crap. And that's why it needs to be erased. You need to get rid of it. You need to get it gone. And that's where we come in. We get rid of scandal from Google, which includes many things. It includes mugshots. It includes arrest records, court records. It also includes tweets. It includes videos on TikTok, YouTube. It also includes comments on Facebook, Instagram, and other places. It also includes personal identifiable information that you don't necessarily want floating around for all and sundry to find and then show up on your doorstep one day. So we can get rid of all that stuff. In fact, case in point, we also get rid of doppelgangers from the internet, which can sometimes cause a lot of confusion to the extent of making employers and partners think that you're them, which can have some crazy side effects that actually almost cost one of our C-suite clients her C-suite job, 7-figure salary. And we helped her out by knocking off that doppelganger from her Google search. So that's just a small example of how we help clients, success guaranteed or your money back. Real easy to work with us. And we're, as far as the ask goes, we're looking for agency partners who white label our service. You get paid, we get paid, the client gets taken care of, and we all go skip happily ever after to the bank and move on with our lives. So that's kind of like what we do. And and small plug for my software Lily Launch Tools, which was also used in the cash map, the strategic planning process. So if you ever need of easy to use software that is a container for your strategic go-to-market roadmap, please consider Lily Launch Tools. And if you're a cat daddy or a cat mommy, please go to the repository on Lily Launch Tools and upload the picture of your furry baby and to celebrate it with the world. I'll leave it there. Thank you, Michael.
Absolutely. By the way, have you ever pursued criminal defense attorneys? I imagine it's especially white collar.
Yeah, white collar, blue collar, any collar. Yeah, so we
work
with any collar. Yeah, so we work with criminal defense attorneys as well as divorce attorneys.
Very cool. I have a divorce attorney for you, but ping me.
Yeah,
unless I may have already tried to reach you. All right. Keith Reynolds, take it away. Keith, you with us?
Yes, I am.
Go for it.
I introduced myself earlier. I'll tell you a little bit of background on the personal side. I started my career working with IBM as the first collegiate rep. I was hired out of college where I had done events and programming for entertainment on campus. And I knew how to put on computer fairs. And that's how I started my career in the technology industry. And I traveled around the country setting up programs for IBM in the bookstores, detailing the retail operations and getting the advertising and the PR and everything going. And every campus had its own ecosystem. And so we went around the country and set up 1,500 schools. I have also worked for Apple, where I got some great training and sort of made the transition to the new digital era, and followed HubSpot. And I've been a HubSpot partner for 5 years. We're in the middle of setting up a HubSpot instance for a company with about a dozen employees right now. They do everything in spreadsheets right now. And I've written the website content, gotten HubSpot set up, and have developed a recruiting deck for the CEO. So I like to set myself up as the fractional chief marketing officer and not the agency. I like to align my interest with the interest of the CEO and work as part of the executive team. And Sarah has taken my workbook that I developed. I can literally deploy a marketing department in 90 days. And the workbook that I've developed to pull that information together is now built into Asana, thanks to Sarah. And over the last year, actually 2.5 years since COVID, I lost my job in COVID, and I've been on a path to build a company around the book, and it's called Publio. And this past year, we've brought on about half a dozen clients where we're their in-house marketing. And that's what we love to do. And that's how I got connected to Rajiv.
Right.
And the last thing I'll say, I'm sorry, one
Yes.
more thing. If anybody would be interested in doing a 30-day trial of the Cash Map app, Rajiv and I would be glad to connect you. It is truly amazing. And whether it's for you or a friend, if you know somebody who would like to get on a stronger financial footing, would be happy to make an arrangement for 30-day free trial.
Very cool. Thank you so much. I'm going to go, and then if we've got a few more minutes, I'd like Nicholas and Sarah to reintroduce themselves. So my name is Michael Bendit. My core business, besides running this network, is representing software development teams. We sell a lot of software development services in the marketing world. And a lot of that comes through relationships with agencies, digital agencies, web designers, other marketing agencies that don't always have the bandwidth or the right skill set in-house to do the development work. I actually spoke with somebody today who said she's been doing web design development and SEO for many, many years, and now she's realized that she can make a lot more money in SEO, and she wants to get the web development in particular off her shoulders, off her plate. But she needs to offer the entire package, because in order to do the SEO, you have to have a website. So those are the types of clients who are great for us. My teams are very technically oriented. There are about a dozen teams, and they've got different skills across the board. So they work with different platforms. Some are domestic teams, some are offshore, and some are what I refer to as dual shore. In fact, those are my best teams. Those have a couple of people here in the US, but most of the developers are offshore. And the benefit of that is you get a lot of that cost savings associated with offshore resources, but you don't have to deal with the challenges of, time zone differences and cultural differences and language differences that make it more complex to deal with offshore resources. So really good leads for me are digital marketing agencies, other web designers that prefer to lean more toward the design and not the development, or even those that do some development, but sometimes have to turn down a project because they just don't know the platform that the client requires them to do the development in. I will leave it there. We have just a minute or two. So Nick, do you want to briefly introduce yourself, and then Sarah as well, and your involvement with RSquare and with Publio? So Nick, why don't you take it over?
All right, thank you, Michael. So as I said before, my name is Nick. I've been working with Rajiv and RSquare Media since December. I've been doing a variety of different tasks, mostly focused on content creation. I've created original content for RSquare Media, Adelphi University, CashMap, Lily Launch Tools, Connect A Strategy. I'm currently looking for a variety of contracts, and I'm open to full-time employment opportunities. And should anyone know anybody in Group M, I'm currently looking there for an opportunity. If anyone would happen to know anybody involved in Group M, I would appreciate any referrals, any names that I can reach out to. So thank you.
Thank you. Okay, and Sarah. You're on mute, Sarah.
Hi, everyone. I'm Sarah, and I really thrive at helping marketing and operations teams fulfill their objectives by and I help by setting up project plans and organizational systems, as I've done for Publio, and it was I also work with a couple I have a couple of side projects where helping other entrepreneurs with similar objectives, and I like to my strengths are in research and analytics reporting.
Very cool. Well, thank you for joining us, both of you and the entire group. We are at the top of the hour, a little past. If you were on a trial membership, thank you, Robert and Rajiv, for signing up for a real paid membership. I'm trying to make this a economically viable network now, and use some of that money to continue to provide services. Thank you, Robert, for the feedback of adding YouTube as another social media resource. And thank you to Rajiv and Keith for the presentation. I'm going to post this, as I always do, on our YouTube channel. Jeremy, thank you for coming as a guest. If you know people who might be interested in the Trusted Referral Network, we do offer a 3-month trial, and we do allow them to come as guests to check it out. Jeremy, if you're interested, let me know.
Michael?
Yes.
If I may, in addition to YouTube, I think you should have as a few additional fields for people to add their podcast link as well, whether it's on Spotify or Anchor or wherever it might be. I think that would be like super helpful as well.
Okay, you can add that in your description. So those might be things you can add, and those are all those links become active. Also, another thing you might add in your description of your listing is your name, because then people will be able to find you not just by the company name, but by your name as well. And that's for non-members. Members can always find you through the member directory.
Got it. Okay.
Don't forget, Threads is also a new social network.
Threads, yeah, exactly. All right. Everybody should
No one is
download
using Threads. They've been going down like drastically on a daily basis from users.
Oh, really? Now would be a good time to download the chat. If you go to the chat window, open it up, and click the 3 dots on the bottom,
Okay.
you can save the chat.
Bye, guys. Have a good one.
And don't forget to follow up with people. Have a wonderful afternoon.